Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today I'm here with returning guest from Mount Rushmore in terms of friends of the channel, Steven from Hello Custom. What's up, Steven?
Hey, how's it going? Excited to be back. Excited for our conversation today.
Yeah, I'm excited too. You know, I love print on demand. I love Etsy, but I love Amazon more. And I think that's going to be the theme of today's conversation with some kind of cool new things going on with the Amazon print on demand space that we're going to be talking about, specifically what Printful and Printify's integrations with Hello Custom and Amazon. And there's a lot of new opportunity coming.
Yeah, super excited for our conversation today. I'm super excited to specifically have this interview with you, given your background with Amazon. I think we're going to cover a lot of good topics in this call.
Nice. Also, you know, I do predominantly Printful. So is there a timeline? Are we integrating with Printful sometime soon?
Yeah, so we are technically, in terms of Hello Custom, we have completed our Printful integration. We are just going to release that after we release our Amazon integration. I just didn't want to release two new integrations going into Q4. So if the Amazon integration gets live, it's smooth. Printful is coming out very soon after.
Dude, I love both, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have the Printful like business plan, like the highest kind of thing. It's like a reward basically if you sell a lot, and I get free embroidery digitization. So I kind of really am interested to see what I can do with Hello Custom, offering custom embroidery. Which, I mean, you're predominantly an Etsy guy, right? I think that's where you hit the most sales, and you know embroidery crushes there. So I can't wait to see what I can do.
Yeah, super excited. Essentially, what we're going to be talking about today is Printify's new integration with Amazon. But Printful has been integrated with Amazon for a while now. So whether you use Printify or Printful, both will work with Amazon, and again, both will work with Hello Custom very soon.
That's going to be so incredible, man. But yeah, right now we can get started by talking about the Printify to Amazon integration. There's been a whole lot of buzz about that lately. Like, what are you feeling like people need to know right away in terms of getting started with Amazon print on demand?
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited for Printify's integration with Amazon. I initially asked Printify for an Amazon integration over 3 years ago. So after a long 3-year wait, I couldn't be more excited that they finally launched an Amazon integration. And the reason why they launched that, we can kind of dive into that as well. But essentially, the reason why I'm so excited is I truly believe that Amazon is going to be the next boom marketplace for print on demand. So print on demand isn't anything new. Print on demand just has different boom opportunities on different marketplaces. I personally know people who were making 7 figures on Teesprings back in 2013. Once that became, a little bit more saturated, top practices became common practice. It kind of fizzled out a little bit. We all saw the boom on Etsy for print on demand back in 2020. I was a part of that boom. I read that boom. I grew up my Etsy shop to, $3 million revenue, 220,000 products sold. And then I do think that we are kind of getting close to another market shift. Nothing against Etsy at all. I still 100% believe that Etsy print on demand is the most viable way to make money online right now. It's the most user-friendly for first-time entrepreneurs who want to dive into this business opportunity. I still 100% think Etsy is viable. I'm just excited for it. I think there's going to be an additional complementary boom on Amazon for multiple different reasons. Essentially, whenever there is like a new way to make money on Amazon, it just blows up. You've probably seen all of them. I was a part of every single one of them. Going back like 7-8 years ago, it was like, retail arbitrage, then it was Amazon wholesale, Amazon FBA. Currently it's like Audible. Merch is one of them. So, just
KDP.
the fact that there's a new.
There's KDP too. Yeah, there's a bunch, man. There's so many good ones. I was just going to say, like, Ryan's method, like what I refer to when I say Ryan's method is literally just the complementary aspect of like, you did the work, you did the research, the design, go get it posted on like all of the major e-commerce marketplaces. Otherwise you're leaving money on the table. And that's close to my heart, man. That's literally what I've been doing this whole time. For anybody not familiar, like I've been doing the Amazon print on demand stuff since 2017, multi-million-dollar print on demand sales on Amazon. And it's not just Amazon merch, but I do the, Printful to Amazon integration. So it's something that it's extremely viable. Now I'm gonna have to deal with a lot more competition thanks to Steven and whatnot, but I'm really interested to see what we can do in terms of today with Hello Custom offering custom products, because I have not touched that at all. And that's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think your YouTube channel like has an abundance of how-to tutorials for anyone who's like just now trying to do Amazon print on demand. So I'm kind of curious to see if like some of your older videos like start to get ranked again as this becomes into a new opportunity. But essentially, the big one here is again, like Amazon is like hundreds of times bigger than Etsy. In the last couple of years, millions and millions of people have launched an Etsy print on demand business. So competition is just like skyrocketing, where we're all selling on the same marketplace to the same customer. probably all using the same print providers, selling the same products for the same cost, product lead times. So it's really hard to kind of stand above that competition. Versus on Amazon, again, Amazon is hundreds of times bigger than Etsy for certain product categories where maybe you cannot do through merch that Printify has. Merch has like 13 products. Printify has hundreds of products, and Printful has hundreds of products, where there are products that are actually more optimized on Etsy than Amazon, where there is, I think, a product gap in the market on Amazon. So one of those products specifically, as we're kind of going into Q4, is going to be, Christmas ornaments. Like those are the products.
I got the merch products here. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to say I got the merch products here. So this is what Steven's referring to. If you can avoid competing with these directly, it's usually a good idea.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, because with merch, those are sold by Amazon 2-day prime delivery. So if your print on demand product, says, sold by, an average seller, generic brand, 2 days production time, standard shipping, gets to you next week, it's really hard to compete with the competition, even if you have the same price, same SEO, same quality design, just due to, lead time differences. I think merch and or FBA would win. But products like, for example, Christmas ornaments, you cannot get that via merch. That is a product that we all know explodes during Q4. It explodes on Etsy. I've sold tens of thousands of Christmas ornaments. So I'm speaking from my firsthand experience on Etsy. If you go over to Amazon and you type in Christmas ornament, there's very little competition because there hasn't really been a good fulfillment opportunity for that product category. Like if you go over to Etsy and you type in Christmas ornament, and you go over to Amazon and you type in Christmas ornament, Etsy is actually the more mature marketplace with better products, better designs, better listings than Amazon. So knowing that Amazon is hundreds of times bigger, knowing that is a product that will explode during Q4 in terms of like opportunity for Amazon print on demand, I think like doing products that you can get through Printify or Printful you cannot do with merch are like, I think the super low hanging fruit in terms of this new opportunity.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And the reason we're talking Christmas ornaments, by the way, is because we're knocking on the door as of recording this of Q4. We're like a month out just about. And I mean, after Q4, there's going to be like, it's just going to shift into whatever's next in terms of opportunity. But right now, like Steven said, there's really an opportunity to arbitrage. Look at what was successful on Etsy and just move it over to Amazon. Don't reinvent the wheel. Take the Ryan's method approach and monetize your stuff on multiple platforms.
Yeah, I completely agree. Especially from Etsy to Amazon. Like when I personally picture like an Etsy shopper next to like maybe like an eBay shopper, I personally picture two different people. But Amazon is so big, like anyone and everyone's an Amazon shopper. So products that sell well on Etsy will sell well on Amazon. That's just how big their customer base is. And they're both third-party marketplaces. So how you drove rank, how you did your product research, how you did your market research, your pricing structure on Etsy parallels perfectly over Amazon. So also anyone who ever like follows myself on our YouTube channel and my specific Etsy strategies, those actually stemmed from Amazon strategies first. Prior to selling on Etsy, I had an Amazon marketing agency, and the strategies I did on Amazon, I applied those over to Etsy, and I now teach those as Etsy strategies. So it's really cool now to bring those back over to Amazon as Amazon strategies, as they do parallel perfectly. So I think another low-hanging fruit opportunity is if you are currently an Etsy seller, you currently have top sellers on Etsy, copy those products over to Amazon, independent if they're FBM products or merch products or FBA products, just copy those over because those should be top sellers on Amazon as well.
Love that idea. Now, for anybody that is like, we got their ear, they're interested, we're talking about selling on Amazon. Do you want to speak to some of the differences? I mean, honestly, for a beginner that's starting on Amazon, it's like, where do you start? Like how do you open a seller central account? What are the fees? What are the differences? My main difference that I usually like to point out is that Amazon wants that white background primary thumbnail photo. If you try to upload, on Etsy, how everybody customizes the thumbnails and stuff, the white background is like, oh, that sucks. Get it out of here. On Amazon, if you don't have that white background, their algorithm will just suppress your listing and nobody will see it. So little things like that. Do you have anything that you could share?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think first I'd like to kind of tell you the differences in the terminologies, because I think that's where a lot of people who are just finding out about this opportunity will get confused, where there's FBA, there's FBM, there is merch, and there's POD. Like what one are we talking about and which one does this opportunity lie in? So essentially FBA is fulfilled by Amazon. That is where if you're doing like private label or you are shipping physical products into an Amazon warehouse and Amazon fulfills the product for you, that's how you get 2 days deliveries, because it's in a warehouse near you, get shipped directly to you. So we're not talking about FBA because we are having the products made on the demand of the sale, and they are shipping from the production partner directly to the customer. So FBA is not what we're referring to. There is
that was how I started my YouTube channel, by the way. Sorry. I just want to shout out to me back in the day. That was what I thought this YouTube channel was going to be about.
Yeah. So FBA was one of the big booms. It still has a lot of people, like one of my business partners makes hundreds of thousands of dollars per month in FBA. So FBA is still an amazing opportunity, just a higher barrier to entry, at least compared to print on demand. Then the next one is merch. So technically Amazon has their own print on demand company where you can sell, print on demand products, don't hold any inventory and sell those on Amazon. The downside to that business opportunity is it's super hard to get in, and it's pretty much gated where, there's a problem. And I like to say this is, there's a problem when you go to YouTube and you type in Amazon merch, that all of the videos on page 1 are not, how to do Amazon merch. They're how to get approved into Amazon merch. So it's really hard to get an account. You always have to reapply with different accounts, different email addresses. And then if you eventually get in, they have tiers. So it's kind of hard for a new seller to get in and then also be able to, ramp up a new business. So we're not talking about Amazon merch. We're essentially talking about FBM, which is the other one, fulfilled by merchant. Us as the merchants are fulfilling the products, but through our production partners, which is print on demand. We are printing the products on the demand of the order. So essentially, in terms of Amazon print on demand, at least comparing it to Etsy print on demand, they're very similar in that you just create an Amazon Seller Central account. Very similar to if you are an Etsy seller, you created an Etsy seller account where you could sell anything you want, but we're specifically selling print products through our production partners. When you create your Amazon Seller Central account, there are 2 different plans. They have an individual plan and a paid professional plan. The individual plan it's free plus 99 cents per item sold. The professional plan is $39.99 per month. Essentially, the free individual plan does not allow you to connect third-party apps. So you would be unable to connect your Printify account, your Printful account, or your Hello Custom account. So it almost forces us to have to use the professional plan, which is $39.99 per month.
Yeah, you got to plan on that one. I always say plus they want you to provide your own UPC codes, which will run you even more money. And anybody who doesn't want to add a $40 subscription a month, I've been paying since 2017, I've been averaging easily over $1,000 a week. So I'm making $4,000 minimum a month by paying $40 a month to Amazon and just kind of building and building and building and building. So for perspective, all the work you do starting when you open that account is going to be making you money into the future.
I 100% agree. Again, we are paying for the marketplace. Amazon is hundreds of times bigger than Etsy, so they are naturally going to charge a little bit more to leverage their audience. We are leveraging their audience and their brand. When you sell a product on Etsy and someone says, "Hey, cute shirt, where'd you buy that?" They're going to say Etsy, right? The reason why your conversion rate is as well as it is because they're on a marketplace that they trust. People trust buying products through Etsy. People trust buying products through Amazon. So it's worth the money, I think, to be able to leverage their audience, their brand, in their marketplace. So with that, at least compared to Etsy, Etsy does have a one-time, roughly $15 cost to open up a new account. Next, there are the transaction fees. So on Etsy has a transaction fee of 6.5%. Compared over to Amazon, the average transaction fee will be about 15%. So 2 times the transaction fee, but to leverage a marketplace that's hundreds of times bigger than Etsy. Again, and this is when you sell a product, so you sold a product, they just take a little slice of the pie, cash flow positive back over to you. In my opinion, it's 100% worth it. That if I could run Facebook ads to a Shopify store and only have to pay 15% to acquire a customer, you're the god of all Facebook ads.
Yeah, no brainer.
So just get that by default, it is a no brainer to be able to pay that 15% in order to leverage their audience. So that's the big differences between Amazon and Etsy. Again, we kind of talked about, I think, the opportunities. Again, on Etsy, I feel like there are 2 kinds of sellers. You're either handmade or you're doing print on demand. But because with a lot of production partners, they're really good with production times. They're really affordable. So whether you're doing print on demand or you're doing it yourself, you're really the competition is pretty level. On Amazon, there's going to be 3 different kinds of customers, or at least 3 different kinds of competition, 3 different kinds of sellers. There's going to be people doing FBA, again, fulfilled by Amazon, 2 days Prime delivered. There's going to be people doing merch, which is going to be print on demand, again, 2 days delivered at Prime. Those are also 2 days delivered. And then people doing Amazon print on demand, which is, again, a few days production time, probably standard shipping gets to you next week. So that's also something to take into mind, which is why I'm super excited for Hello Customs integration, in that the reason why Printify took 3 years to finally restart their Amazon integration was they thought it was going to be a losing battle for the merchants, or at least an uphill battle where how do you compete against those products when even if you have the same price, the same quality product, the same designs, the same SEO, when it's just production time is next week versus 2 days, that if in the birth of Hello Custom, in the light of personalization, kind of re-sparked an opportunity for the Amazon integration, that if your product is personalized, the customer wants a personalized product. They understand that it's not in an Amazon warehouse somewhere saying Steven 2024 in California. And again, you cannot do custom products for Amazon FBA or custom for merch. That if they want a custom mug or a custom product, they are willing to wait to get it next week because you are making that product custom for them. So I do think that is like the one domino for it to flow correctly is to leverage personalization to really be able to compete on the Amazon marketplace. So it's more so, I think, important for Amazon. I highly recommend it. It was like the #1 key to my personal success on Etsy, but I've also talked to a lot of sellers who found success without personalization. So it's recommended, optional on Etsy, but almost required on the Amazon marketplace. So that is another difference between the two.
Yeah, and I just wanted to speak to my personal experience. Like, I agree with what you said, by the way. It's always good to have a plan. Like, what's your edge? And if it's using Hello Custom to be able to like mass scale out order fulfillment with custom orders on a marketplace where a lot of people just completely overlooked it. Like I said, myself included, 7.5 years in, I'm not selling anything custom on Amazon yet. It's easy on Etsy. You just check the one little box on the listing and it's like, all right, there you go. But on Amazon, I haven't gone through it yet. I'm guilty. Guilty as charged. But I just wanted to mention that my personal experience, like I feel like Amazon merch, as big as it is, like you said, everything's true. It's gated. It's hard to get in. If you get in, it really feels to me like, it's 2024 August right now as of recording, that since the inception of that program, they've shifted to favoring brand partnerships. Like anybody who's been paying attention, they are partnering with Disney. I know Marvel's owned by Disney, but they pulled all those in. They've got like sports partnerships that are popping up left and right, movies, like all these franchises. And those are those are what's moving most product, right? It's not people like me, and so the writing is a little bit on the wall. I'm not saying that my time's limited there, but I'm just saying like, if we're competing with merch, I feel like a lot of it is going to be competing with stuff that we can't sell anyways, which is okay, right? And merch has the Prime checkbox, which is tough to compete with, but as long as it's, a lot of these, big brands, like that's okay, because they're not offering custom shirts and we can go ahead and kind of find our own lane. It's not like custom products are falling in demand, right? They're only increasing in demand.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do think, again, print on demand, where you are creating the product on the demand of the sale, is the perfect business opportunity to just like when you are creating that product, like you can also make it customized to then give it to the customer. So it's the perfect business opportunity for personalization, knowing that personalization thrives, especially the fact that we're going into Q4, which is like a giftable season. And again, if you received a mug that says, world's best mom, and then another mug that says world's best mom with the children's name on it, if those are side by side on a marketplace, whether Etsy or Amazon, personalization wins every single day. That's how we got more clicks to our products than the competitions. That's how we had a higher conversion rate. And that's how we were able to, again, ramp our Etsy business to multiple 7 figures and hundreds of thousands of products sold, where 100% of our products were personalized. With personalization too, one more difference between the two marketplaces, Etsy versus Amazon, is how do returns work? And I think that's another really common question. So on Etsy, you can set your return policies. So some people say, hey, I have a love it guarantee. All returns are accepted. Just let us know why, and then we'll give you your money back, no problem. I personally I honored a love it guarantee. So all returns accepted. Our returns were like less than 1%. So I personally believed that the increase in our conversion rate outweighed the return. So then therefore I was net positive. But a lot of people, they say returns allowed, but no returns allowed for personalized products because you took the time to customize it. That was time inputted to then get a return. So they say no returns for customized products. That's kind of the average for Etsy. On Amazon, it's a little bit different where if you are doing FBA, they want you to, essentially it's a 30-day return policy. So for any reason, if they want to return it within 30 days, you have to honor that return policy independent of your return policies. But if you are FBM, which is what we will be with print on demand, we don't have to abide by that, but Amazon encourages you to either match it or exceed it. So essentially, we have to have a 30-day return policy for all products, independent of the reason. So then it comes down to who's responsible for the return label. Do I have to pay for the return label, or does the customer have to pay for the return label? You can go either way with this one. So if the customer maybe bought the wrong size or the wrong color, or they gave you the wrong shipping address, you could put that onto the customer, say, hey, you're responsible for the return label. Once received, we will give you the refund. From personal experience, those typically will turn into maybe a 1-star verified review that if someone's already unhappy, they already want to return it. You can always, again, like you take care of the shipping label and try to have really good customer service. And that might even turn to a 5-star review just for the customer service. So I would personally recommend, again, like I'll take care of the return label and try to turn it into a positive. But another reason why I love personalized products is on Amazon, custom products are non-returnable. So essentially, if it is a custom product, they're not able to just click on return, get a shipping label, and then ship it back to you. They are non-returnable. But me as a seller, I can still issue them a refund if I would like, and I can still ship them a replacement if I would like. So you're able to then kind of match your Etsy terms of service for returns that for generic products, a 30-day return policy, and for custom products, no refunds.
I love that. And I did not know that. As I mentioned, haven't ventured out into the Amazon custom yet, but planning on it. So that's really good to know. One other thing that popped in my mind is like, if we compete with FBA, it might actually be in our favor to offer products. Like we have a massive catalog between Printful, Printify, products that have multiple SKUs associated. Like if you offer one t-shirt in one color, you still have to have a SKU for small, medium, large, XL. Like FBA sellers don't want to do that. You know what I mean? They don't want to ship in a million quantities for each variation of a single t-shirt listing. So I was just thinking of ways we could grind out an edge with Amazon print on demand against some of the incumbent competition. So yeah, there's so many ways to attack this. I love it.
Yeah, one thing that I'm super excited about is anyone who is currently an Amazon seller and maybe they're doing like wholesale or FBA and they're using their product research tools to go find products. Typically, when you're doing FBA, you have to go buy 10,000 of this product. So you don't want to go buy 10,000 of a product that sells one a day. Like you're looking for like winners, you're swinging for the fence. So when you do a print on demand, you might have hundreds of listings that each sell maybe once per month. So like when those people are even doing their product research, like the products that we sell aren't even on their radar because it's a numbers game. So I think we're able to kind of like go in on an opportunity because it's so easy to create designs and launch products with no cost to us to launch the product. We can go with a more volume game compared to the Amazon FBA. And again, you can layer that with the fact that FBA cannot leverage Amazon custom and merch cannot leverage Amazon custom, but FBM can. Those are a few different ways that we can kind of like slide into this new market opportunity. One other thing that's a difference between Etsy and Amazon in terms of just like the technicalities is, when you create the product on your print provider site, whether it's Printful or Printify, it's one product. And if you're maybe creating a t-shirt that has 10 colors and 6 sizes, there's 60 variations on that one product. When you publish it over to Etsy, it's still one product with maybe 60 variations. The difference with Amazon is Amazon would create 60 different listings, one for each variation, and they call those child listings that are within like a container called the parent listing. So it's nothing wrong. It's not a glitch if you see that. It's just how Amazon is formatted, where they want each variation to be its own listing that can get its own rank, where maybe a large red version of the mom shirt will probably rank better if someone is specifically looking for a large red mom shirt. So then instead of just having like your main image, have to click into that to realize you don't have a large red, that variation would be getting the rank. So it's just differences in how it's formatted. So then therefore, typically the workflow is you create the product with your print provider, you publish it over to Etsy, then you optimize it on Etsy. You'd want to do something completely different on Amazon is you'd want to optimize the product on the print provider, like give it the optimized title, the optimized bullet points, the optimized description on the print provider site, and then publish it over to Amazon. That way you're not going into 60 different listings to just change the title each time and then change the bullet points each time in the description. So optimize it on Printify or Printful first, then publish it over.
Yeah, and if you thought, good.
No, go ahead. I'll let you touch on that one.
I was just gonna say, if you thought like editing listings on Etsy was bad, because remember how they used to have that bug where you had to like double publish and stuff on the old UI, but it's like, dude, in Amazon to edit a listing, it is more painful. Let's just leave it at that. It's more painful. Like it sucks.
Yeah, it's just gonna be more, I think, of a learning curve. So Amazon, again, when you make a change and publish on Etsy, it's like you can then refresh the listing and it's live. Mm-hmm. On Amazon, whenever you make a change and you hit publish, so there's a pop-up that says changes, if approved, will be live within 24 hours. So things just take longer on Amazon. And same thing with publishing products from your print provider over to Amazon. Like it might take like a couple of minutes to publish over to Etsy, but it might take a couple of hours to publish over to Amazon because they have to create that many different listings and then group them into the single parent listing. So things just take more time, but I wouldn't let that be a deterrent to not do the opportunity. One other thing in terms of the differences between the two, which I actually like, is advertising. So advertising, in my opinion, is the number one lever that you can pull to scale your business. That when you launch a new product, you're not ranked on page one. All of the sales are acquired on page one. You need sales to get ranked to page one. And the easiest way to do that is to turn on advertising to promote your product to page one, to start getting sales through your ad, to then drive rank for your organic listing. On Etsy, it's easier to get started in that you essentially say all of these products, I'm willing to spend this much per day advertising on, yes or no. It's like a few clicks of a button and then it's on. But you have no control over your cost per click. One of your products might be doing really, really well, therefore it's getting all of the clicks and it's eating up your ad budget, and then it's not sharing it with the rest of the products. You're getting ranked for search terms that might be irrelevant. You have to go in and turn those off. There's just like lack of control on Etsy. Still, I would 100% recommend doing ads. It was the number one thing that we did on Etsy to grow our business. But what I love about Amazon is they give all of the control over to you. So a little bit more of a learning curve, but once you learn it, it's full reins where you can say, you know, for these products, I want to pay for these search terms. I'm willing to bid this much per search term. For these search terms, I want it to be exact match, phrase match, or broad match. Hey, this one's doing amazing. It's getting tons of clicks. Let's put that in its own campaign with its own daily ad budget. Put that over here. Everything else goes into a different one. Like, you can get way more granular, way more strategic with it. And as a result, I probably find more success through advertising on Amazon than you probably would on Etsy.
Yeah. And just to be clear, like, I know firsthand, you do not need to advertise on Amazon to be successful, but it doesn't hurt, like Steven said, that like it's there and you have more control over it. Like, Etsy used to give us the ability to control our bids, but and I'll never forget the night that they disabled it, because the next day I maxed out my budget, which was set so high because my bids were so low. I was like, what the heck? Like, they spent so much of my money, but that's a great point,
Yeah.
man.
I think the average, like I personally spent like $250,000 on ads on Etsy, so like $250,000. I think my average cost per click was like 40 cents. So therefore it's just like a flat 40 cents. I've talked to other 7-figure sellers. It's about 44 cents on Etsy, but on Amazon, you can go after more long tail keywords and say, hey, 15 cents, 20 cents. You can go after more low hanging fruit, a little bit more specific ones, and try to get that cost per click and get your return on ad spend even more optimized on Amazon specifically.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon ads is a whole beast, but like, don't be scared. It gets easier. And with the different match types and stuff, like, there can really be opportunity, like, to be strategic and carve out like some cheap ad spend, even in a competitive niche. So I absolutely love that. I was just going to say, it might be a good time to plug like that, Hello Custom's going to have some offerings associated with like hand holding through the Amazon process, because dude, we could talk for like a few more hours about all the little things that needs to know. Like, you were talking about publishing. You don't publish too many products too quickly, you'll get throttled. What does it mean to be throttled? Like, there's a bunch of little, like, I don't want to say landmines and scare people, but there's just stuff that you need to know as a part of the learning curve that you're going to cover in your Amazon course that's a part of Hello Custom. Do you want to just talk about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So essentially, like, we have a YouTube channel called Hello Custom, where right now I talk a lot about Etsy, but I do think where the market is going, where there's going to be a lot of need for education, is going to be for Amazon print on demand, where there's not a lot of people that I think have the skill sets to be able to successfully talk about Amazon and print on demand in general. And Ryan is one of them. So like, Ryan, if you start putting out content, like, I would 100% start following Ryan for content specific to it. But again, given my background before Etsy of having an Amazon marketing agency, and then my experience on Etsy of growing a multi-7-figure shop with selling print products, we're going to kind of steer our channel a little bit more to maybe 80-20 Amazon POD compared to Etsy POD, because there's just a lot of content that's great content for Etsy already. Not enough, I think, for people to find success with the Amazon side. But so essentially we're going to offer a lot of free content on YouTube, but we're also going to be having a course as well. So that is an upsell to our lifetime offer. So I'll kind of talk about that for a quick second. Ryan will have a link in the description below. But essentially, again, Hello Custom is an automation software that automates the personalization for print products sold on Etsy, and now soon to be Amazon. We're going to launch this integration next week, the first week of September, depending on when you are watching this. We are going to be the only software that will automate the personalization for a product that is sold on Amazon. That when it is sold on Amazon, it comes into Hello Custom. We automate the personalization. With a single click of the button, you can approve it, and then it will go to your production partner for fulfillment. Once shipped, it'll go back over to Amazon, mark it as complete with the tracking information. So if you want to compete with FBA and compete with merch using personalization, this tool will automate that for you. So that way, it is selling personalized products should be just as easy and just as semi-automated as selling non-personalized products. So normally, Hello Custom is $29.99 per month or $360 per year. we have a limited time lifetime deal where you can get lifetime access to Hello Custom for only one payment of $67. So you'll never have to pay subscription fees ever again. Whether you are doing Etsy or thinking about doing Amazon, I would recommend just locking in this offer to get lifetime access, is because we don't know how long this offer will be available, just due to the sheer nature of lifetime. So if you want to just like click that link, opt in, use it for when you need it, I would highly recommend to do that. And as a limited time offer to our lifetime users, we are going to have one of the first Amazon print on demand courses. So essentially, like if you want to kind of like speed and expedite the learning curve to learn this new opportunity, I think that would be the great place to just binge on the knowledge, then go implement the strategy going into a Christmas season.
Yeah, and I mean, in my personal opinion, like there's no opportunity, in my personal opinion, better than Amazon, but also in terms of the learning curve you face when you get started, like bigger learning curve than Amazon Seller Central. Like it's a beast. You know what I mean? You get lost in there you might disappear. Your family's gonna have to come looking for you because you're gonna get lost in the depths of Seller Central. Like there's so much going on in there. Not that you need to be like an expert in every little thing, but as somebody who's been on Amazon Seller Central for 7.5 years, like it's better to just know where to go and what to do, and then create your recurring workflow. And by the way, like don't gloss over, Steven said that you can literally sell custom products as easily as you sell non-custom products. That is something that's absolutely insane, leveraging AI. Like imagine sitting down at a dinner table with your family friends and being like, yeah, like I just started an Amazon business using AI and I can do all these cool things. And it was minimal capital investment. Then it's just time investment. You know what I mean? And Q4 is right around the corner. You're going to get it right. Even if, you know what I mean? You can't help but get some sales in Q4, but sky's the limit, man. Like there's just so much cool stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm uniquely more excited about the Amazon for personalization, even more so than Etsy. In regards to, I think Amazon is more optimized. I think Amazon is more of an optimized platform for personalization. In that, on Etsy, if you're selling any kind of product, offering any kind of personalization, they just give the customer a text box to just type in what they want. So as someone who has sold hundreds of thousands of times and has read that what they've typed in hundreds of thousands of times, there's no control. They can say, "Hey, beautiful day, love your store. Can the name be Steven? And the date be 2024," and then a few more sentences. So as a result, we have to use AI to read through all of that, find what they actually want to be the personalization elements, and then go dynamically personalize the graphic, which then therefore kind of limits what we are able to automate. So we're only able to automate text-based personalization limited to names, dates, addresses, and phone numbers on the Etsy marketplace, which might sound a little bit limited, but of the $3 million that I've sold, of the $10 million that my buddy Jesse has sold, so almost 1 million personalized print products collectively, 99% of our products were just name and date. We took a basic design, we threw Samantha 2024 on it, and it was therefore deemed as a personalized product, higher value than the competition, and it worked. On Amazon lets you essentially add up to 15 different personalization fields where you can say like, name 1, name 2, name 3. On those, I want them to be able to change the font color to this and the font to this. Image upload, so you can change up to 15 different input fields. So essentially, if you click onto that customize button, it gives them a pop-up where like the seller essentially created all of those variation options onto the right-hand side. So it gives you way more control to be able to have more dynamic input fields. And we designed our integration with Amazon where you're able to tie those input fields to the template directly. Like if you say maybe like anniversary date, tie that in here, or a sports team name, and then tie that here, and then sports number, tie that here, and then upload image. You can now do upload images, which you cannot do on the Etsy integration with Hello Custom, but you will be able to on the Amazon integration. So as a result, there's going to be no limitations with the personalization, and it just fully opens the door to like all of your designs should work, and it gives you way more flexibility and freedom to create the designs that you want to create and still be able to automate it with Hello Custom.
Yeah, man, the opportunity there is crazy. And I mean, it's one thing that maybe gets overlooked, but like if you and everybody's goal, right, is to have as big of a win as possible. It's not just to eke out a few sales, it's to get a lot of sales. That's where Hello Custom's really going to like have your back more than ever. Because I mean, even just recently, like with the political stuff, I'm not doing custom stuff. I'm just doing solid, like presidential here, presidential there. The number of sales I've been making lately and the customer service associated with that. And it's like Amazon customer service is not as bad as Etsy, but like, I don't know, man, I don't know where I was going with that actually, but just being able to, yeah, well, on the back end, dealing with those orders without Hello Custom, one-click approval versus what you'd have to do as an alternative it's unfathomable. You'd have to have multiple employees.
Yeah, I'll kind of tell you what that looked like before Hello Custom, because that's what we did before Hello Custom was personalization was a love-hate relationship where we loved it because we get tons of sales. Again, we got more clicks in the competition. As a result, got more sales in the competition. During a Christmas rush, as again, we're going into Q4, we'd be selling 1,000 personalized products per day. So I would come into the office, the team members would print out the orders. It'd be a stack like this big of just shipping labels. And I was like, awesome sales day. I'm so stoked. What a great sales day. And then you're like, oh man, now we have to go have a computer lab full of people and laptops, just grind Canva for 8 hours, just name, date, phone number, name, date for 8 hours, 1,000 personalizations again the next day, again the next day, again the next day. And the amount of times that they would do typos, spell Steven with a V instead of a PH, or Ryan with an EN instead of an AN, that would then go into the garbage, was just unfathomable. So doing it manual was just so painful. It took like 2 to 5 minutes to personalize it. And the people that were using a production partner, it would take an additional 2 to 5 minutes to go to the other orders tab, find the order, click into it, create the product, upload it, then push it through to production. So like 5 to 10 minutes per order. Now try to times that by 1,000 in terms of potential. To then we, out of our own pain point. So this is another big thing too, is Hello Custom is a tool that was built by Etsy print-on-demand sellers for Etsy print-on-demand sellers, but also now Amazon sellers. So it was built out of the pain points that we personally experienced by doing it manual hundreds of thousands of times. So we do one thing and we do it very well without all the bells and whistles to just fix this one pain point as optimized as we can. So I think it's the most optimal tool. Again, we're the only tool, but I think we built it very specifically for you in terms of the pain points that you would experience if you were to do it manual. So where it's now, we automate the personalization, you click approve, and then we automate the fulfillment. So it went from 10 minutes to just a click of a button.
It's hard to put a price on that.
It's literally buying back your time. Like the amount of people that I've talked to that are like, hey, I'm a working mom. I have children. I can only work at this when the kids go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. I never did personalization because I just didn't have the time to manually fulfill the orders. But I also wasn't seeing success in my business because I was like, hey, I need to do personalization to be competitive. I use Hello Custom. I'm now doing personalization. I'm finding success in my business. You're automating the fulfillment. So I would not be able to do personalization without Hello Custom. I would not be able to find success without personalization. And so as a result, they're able to buy back their time, open up the opportunity, again, making personalized print products just as easy as non-personalized print products, but have a better opportunity for you to stand above the competition who's not leveraging it.
Yo, there's nothing else that needs to be said right there, man. Like that is the doer mentality. It's like what you just explained. Like somebody, like you said, like they just made it work. Like it was what was required to be successful in that example. And Hello Custom's there. It's got our back. I said it's hard to put a price on it, but it's only $67 lifetime. You can't beat that. Linked in the description. Did we miss anything?
I think that's it. Yeah. The only last thing I'd like to, advise anyone to do is to take action. Like what we are talking about right now is like a new opportunity where this is ground zero, day one. You're hearing about this. There's a reason why there's not a lot of tutorials on YouTube, is because this is so early, and people who are hearing about this 3 years from now wish they heard about it today like you are. So again, the people who take action today are going to have exponential higher chances for success, layered with the fact that we're going into a Q4. When this Q4, like when you're doing print on demand, independent of how long you've been doing it, there's 2 seasons. There's Q4 and there's not Q4. And if you're not in Q4, you're thinking about Q4. So it's like the perfect time with a new opportunity. It's perfect timing in terms of like just the time of the year to like take action, get the unfathomable potential for success, and then you can piggyback off that going into the new year. So I would just 100% recommend you to take action. Like this is these opportunities don't come very often.
Yep. The stars are aligning, and all that's left, the missing puzzle piece, is taking action. Steven, man, it's been great having you here. Mount Rushmore in terms of guests. Thank you so much. I'll be diving into Amazon Custom with Hello Custom, and I can't wait to see what I do this fourth quarter.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been great.